Hello and welcome to I Should Say That Out Loud. I'm your host, Donna Brendel, and I'm so over the top excited to introduce you to my friend from the other side of the world, Orion Kelly, today. Thank you, Orion, for being on my show. I so appreciate you being here.
Hey, mate, great to see you again. It's great to talk on your podcast.
Moving along to page 30, we talk about, on the parenting aspect, help for parenting autistic children. And you say it's critical to be led by autistic people in helping parents raise their autistic children. It's critical to be led by autistic people with their lived experience in this space. So perfect timing to talk about this as we're talking about both of our kids. And then you've also recently mentioned on one of your live episodes the phrase a lived experience workforce.
Yeah.
So bringing more autistic people's voices to both parenting and to the workplace. And you can talk more about each of those, but also my question is how do we get there? How do we do that? How do we bring more autistic voices to both of those places and other places that are needed as well?
Yeah, I'll do the parenting thing second. First, let me just get to the second part. I interviewed an autistic guy who's part of an organisation in Australia that helps people with depression, suicidality, these types of things, and that's one of the times I talked about it. And he was talking about how he is what you would class as a lived experience kind of counsellor, right? People who have gone through depression, or suicidality, whatever, meaning that he's an autistic person who has had those feelings or those issues. And he talked about how when you can go into the healthcare system, we're talking about professionals, which is great, doctors. Now, do these doctors have any idea about what it's like to be autistic or any idea what it's like to be suicidal? Now, a lot of them are obviously going to say no. And then the question is, in an ED environment, that's even more like a McDonald's drive-through, right? You've got to get them in and out as quickly as possible. So in an ED environment, there's no relatability, right? It's just, what's your problem? Okay, where can I push you off to? See you later. So I think the lived experience workforce comes down to what are the main issues that affect autistic people, and who are the people that they will come in contact with in those situations. That could be criminal justice, mental health. It could be employment. It could be any type of thing that healthcare. Any type of thing that you think is the first people you meet are people that have absolutely no idea or insights, and the outcomes aren't good. And then working out how we can integrate people to help these professionals to provide a better outcome. So that's the thing we were talking about. And I think the core issue is, so we're not saying fire lawyers or judges or courts. What we're saying is, if we know that autistic people can come in contact with the criminal justice system, at disproportionate rates, we have to think, okay, so is that because when they get there or when they enter it, the police don't understand how autistic people interact and think they're suspicious, or they're withholding, or they're trained at school to go, look, if you can't see it's down out of shot. If someone's doing this all the time, they've got drugs on them and they're trying to get on the plane with drugs or a bomb, right? So pull them aside and treat them badly, yeah?
Wow.
But that's how you're taught, yeah? Right?
That's my stim.
Welcome to the airport, mate. Welcome to the airport. I never get through. I can't just walk through the goddamn thing. It's like I'm holding a baby, man. What do you think I'm going to do? So it's like, okay, you have to understand that, yes, it's your job to keep people safe. Okay. But, this isn't the universal sign for, I'm carrying drugs, yeah? So you have to understand everyone individually. And so that's a very simple fix by having some lived experience people who, can either do that job or work in that industry to go, no worries, you got to protect people. The first question you could ask is, is certain questions like, you seem quite anxious, or, you seem quite agitated. Are you okay? Is there something we can do to help you? They might go, no, I'm perfectly fine. Okay, pull them aside and swipe them for drugs. Or they might go, I'm autistic. I'm sorry. I find this very stressful. I can have the sunflower lanyard. Criminal justice, police. This doesn't mean I'm trying to evade you. Or if I go non-verbal, non-speaking, or I don't know how to answer your questions the way you need to hear them, or I keep asking, you to, keep saying, no, that's you're wrong. It's this, that isn't just I'm a criminal. So, lived experience can really change the lives of, neurodivergent autistic people, because we can provide insights to people that will never have those insights and are never trained in those insights. So, and a lot of autistic people, I think too, can be misdiagnosed of things if they feel depressed or sad or upset or anxious, or don't experience or understand or convey feelings or pain in the same way, can look like they're lying and they're drug seeking or something. Like an example for me is, when I had really bad belly aches or whatever, I went to ED and they said, we can give you some strong pain relief. And I said no, because that's the pain relief last time that made me really, it interacted with my body, made me agitated. And also, I know this is too much information, but I'm scared of constipation. Yeah. I don't like it. Right. It's funny, but it's not a joke when you're on the end of it. Trust me.
I understand.
I said no. Right. Now, in saying no, they decided I'm not in that much pain, and they sent me home. Now,
oh no,
because I said no. Now, eventually, cut to me, getting my appendix removed in surgery. So this is the issue. Yeah. I'm just someone who's, and that's the thing. Aren't you guys supposed to catch out people who are drug seeking? I'm saying no to the drugs, and you're sending me home. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, or just go, hang on, buddy. Lived experience says, hang on, mate, why don't you want the pain relief to make you feel better? Is there something about it? It's like, yeah, well, last time I had it, it agitated me. Okay, what type was it? Let's get you a different type, Or, okay, cool. If you're scared of constipation, chew some gum, honestly. Or take this, what do you call those natural things, tablets? You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard. It's not hard. So, that's what I mean by like lived experience workforce, people in all aspects of the world where we can actually create better outcomes. We're not taking them out of business. We're saying, how can we work with you to create better outcomes for autistic people, knowing all the research says, whether it's criminal justice, mental health, access to health services, or employment, it all says we have disproportionately, worse outcomes. So if that's factually proven now, why can't we intertwine a lived experience workforce to help explain to people and provide better outcomes? So that's the first part on that, and you can jump in a sec. But just the parenting one, let me say. And how does that relate to parenting? It relates to parenting on the premise that I don't need to hear any more tips and tricks from neurotypical parents, #autism mum, that think they know everything about their autistic kid, because all they care about is how it's made them feel. Like all they care about is how hard their life is. And it's like, I know how hard life can be parenting autistic kids, but trust me, I've just got to think for 2 seconds on how hard life would be in my kid's shoes, and I get upset. So, so it pales in insignificance to how my life is. It's like, get stuff. I've got a 10-year-old autistic kid who is already in life where life has gone, we don't like you, stuff you kind of thing. So that's my thing about parenting. We have to focus on the autistic kids who become autistic adults. That's the thing. People think people get bogged down in, the parents get bogged down in, you can't get kids to tell you how to parent your kids. No, but kids become adults, you morons. Like they forget, autistic people become adults, and they can help you parent your autistic kids. So from my point of view, I guess I just got really sick and tired of looking for ways to be a better parent for an autistic kid, and only seeing stuff by, I don't know, academics, professors, or parents, none of which who are autistic, none of which who have any experience in what it actually is like. Right. So you don't know how it feels when you're oversensitized, right? You don't know how it feels when you are in a social situation. But because they're the parent, they think they do. So I'm not saying that having a child who's autistic and you not being autistic makes you a bad parent. I'm saying, please don't say that I can't contribute something that you that you can't contribute just because I'm not the parent of your kid. I'm saying if you listen to autistic voices, it can only complement you. It's not about, so this is the same as the workforce. And let me finish the answer on this. It's all about complementing. Better outcomes, complementing. That's what it's all about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you put that in the end, complementing and better outcomes. That's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay, so moving on to page 18. You said, I'm only going to say this once, disdain is my default greeting. And then in a little thing on the side, on the margin, you said, please laugh. Before I read the please laugh, I was already laughing out loud. I just want you to know I did laugh at that.
Thank God for that. Thank God.
Yes.
It's very true though, but thank God for that.
Yep. Whenever he's a little bit better now, not that much, but when I would introduce my son when he was younger, and people would look at me like, what's wrong with him? I'm like, no, it's okay. He's great. He's doing great. He is enjoying meeting you, but that's just the way he is. His greeting is awkward. That's all.
It's a perfect encapsulation, I think, of every experience I've ever had. And frankly, there's a small portion of it that, I'm not speaking on your son's behalf, but I kind of am. The small portion of it is that, I just don't see. I mean, I just don't care so much about meeting you. Or like, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got to offer me? What's yes. I mean, it's kind of like, mate, what you want me to give you in advance? Respect and thanks. You haven't even done anything yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to like pay up front if you're neurotypical. Like, no, you don't. And like, okay, thanks for coming, mate. Well, what do you got? What do you got? Let's see. What do you got? Right? I'll withhold my friendliness until we'll work out what you've got. And by the way, autistic people, because we're logically strong, the human brain has that kind of, back in the primitive days, that 7-second, are you going to kill me or are you safe, right? That 7-second, live, die. Is this the person going to kill? Or, but now we use it for like, don't like. And I know you know that. I know all humans know, if they're honest with themselves, when you meet a new person in the first 5 to 7 seconds, there's something about that person you like or don't like. I know that's a fact. People are lying if they don't agree they have that experience. And for autistic people, that's very strong because it's very logical. You get that sense very quickly, comfortable, not comfortable, right? So that's where the disdain comes in. It's like, mate, prove me wrong. Like, I love that. I love that honesty. And I also think it's, it's useful because we can be over trusting, and fall into the trap of just everyone. We take everyone on face value, which, my experience tells me is a very bad thing to do, but autistic people do. So I'm glad that.
I think my son, what you said is a lot of the way that my son would relate to people back then and even now. So I think you're definitely very similar in that way. And it makes me think of how I react when I meet someone, especially when I was younger. I've gotten a little better now, but I still can fall into this. I'll meet someone and they'll say hi, and I'll be like waiting for them to say the next thing. And I'm like, okay, what do I do now? What am I supposed to say now?
Yeah.
You're not saying anything, so I'm not going to say anything. Now I realize that I can say something first. That's okay. But before I'd be like, I'm not talking because you're not talking. I don't know what to do next.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember, and I still do, I have the tendency to, I'll enter a room or enter space, but that's it. It's like, I think you're supposed to say hello, Orion. Like when you walk up to someone or walk in a room, you're supposed to say, hi guys, how you going? Good to see you. But no, I just kind of walk in and then just there, like where did you come from? But like my brain, I say, what am I supposed to do? Announce myself. Hello, welcome. I'm entering the room. That feels more comfortable to me. You just enter a space, see what happens. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a very different. 100%. Yeah, exactly.
Page 19, hobbies versus special interests, which you say are an autistic person's whole life, as opposed to hobbies, which are just for fun. And then you talk about how this affects us physically because we forget self-care. When we're invested in our interest and I totally relate to this. We forget to eat. I can go hours and hours and hours, not eat, not go to the bathroom, not remember, oh, I have something else coming up later today I have to do for that too. And yeah, I can really like lack of sleep. Not so much anymore, but I used to stay up all night and then get up early the next day. Self-care just flies out the window.
100%. I think so. The reason why I say that is because I struggle to understand the premise of hobbies. I have like very specific things I like to do, and my interests are very specific. Like as you know, like I love criminal law and the law side of me. I love the criminal stuff. I love criminal investigation. I love the stars. I love the planets, the universe, and I love content creation. That's about it. The only hobby I'd say, if you want to talk about a hobby, I'd say is I really like to watch, my team play football. When that's not on, I have started to really enjoy watching the NFL because that's on in the off season. So when my football's on, the NFL's not on, and for some reason I just got really attached to the Chiefs because I thought their quarterback was like just a freak. Patrick Mahomes. So I started watching their games. And again, I don't know if that's a hobby or an interest because I started to get to learn a lot about the game and their team. And so that's more sounds like a special interest to me. So yeah, that's where I kind of don't understand the idea of hobbies. But I think, when I'm stuck in going down the rabbit hole or doing content, the last thing I want to do is have a shower or get dressed, go to the toilet, brush my teeth, blah, 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 eat lunch. Like seriously, who needs it? Drink water. And
I have a whole glass sitting here and haven't had one sip of it.
That's right. Exactly. And I got a drink bottle too. 100%. Exactly right. So I think that's the difference. Yeah. See, when you do hobbies, you're like, people that like maybe they'd have a hobby and they'll stop and they'll have a drink or chat or, it's a hobby. It's like to them, a hobby is put downable, but special interests, no. You can be put down while I do this. That's the difference. Yeah. Hobbies, you can kind of turn up, pause on and off. Special interests, not so much. Like to get a kid off their special interest to have dinner is a challenge. So yeah, I think, but that's the vicious cycle. It's like, that's one of the main reasons why I struggle with content creation is because I have to shower, at least for the premise that, my hair's not crazy and I don't look like a psychopath on my videos. But I hate that. It's like, oh my God, I had to shower this morning to record this with you, right? Did I want to shower this morning? No. I wanted to drink my coffee over a longer period of time and do nothing for a bit, right? But I was pumped. Like, because, for me, I got the kids out the door, I had an hour before we recorded. That's like 10 minutes in my time. So, it really is, it's very much about like your first book, the physical manifestations, of the things that we do. So, what's the cost? But the thing is too, special interests, in my opinion, are part of, regulation, therapy, soothing, right? We do them because they help us thrive. So when we're forced not to, or it's restricted, or, there's like demands placed upon it, it doesn't happen. So, and then that doesn't help us either. So yeah, to me, it's almost a rant. I just don't understand the premise of hobbies. And, like for me, alone time is more important than the standard bloke that wants to go to the golf club for 6 hours on a Saturday. I couldn't think of anything worse. I don't understand the premise of it. So it's like, to me, I'll never understand that. So I can't really explain it. It's just the way it is to me.
I related to that a lot too in my special interest of water skiing and being on the show ski team for so many years. And when other families, it was a family sport, which was nice. So other families would be like in and out throughout the summers. And I'd be like, how are they missing so much? Like you can't miss. Yeah. And I was there every day and I was on the water every time the girls' things were on the water. And I was so invested in it for so long that it caused physical damage to my body with injuries and surgeries that I had to have. So that, kept me young, but got me old quick too in certain ways.
It's the pastime
So
to them. Yeah.
yeah, right, exactly.